Holy shit.
Varisa really did. It was an excellent pick being showcased by Les. I'm expecting to see the Varisa coming out here as well. Really consistent strip. Well, there we have it, guys. We've got Lust in FH. Semifinals, match 1. Pre-bans are locked in. Shizuka and Oliver getting pre-banned here.
This is where things start getting really intense. If you like the games before, you got a lot ahead of you. Yeah, the semifinals are going to be pretty stacked. I love the Shizuka ban early. I feel like there's, even though she's so good, I feel like there's still not enough respect on that unit in these games we've seen today.
Yep, there's that contested pick there. Nana's going to get first pick by FH. Clearly he wants to go turn 2. Varisa's going to be making an appearance once again for Les. A very strong unit in his arsenal, clearly signaling he wants turn 1.
Can't wait to see how FH adapts to this. It's going to be really cool to see these two folks clash, especially because FH has gotten so far with no previous competitive history. I mean, Lest has a tournament championship title under his belt, and there she is. There's that light battle angel again, ready to set up, strip, and increase cooldown times.
I do like the Veronica, and I do like the Dominic coming out of FH. Now, Les taking that Water Monkey King is super interesting. I feel like that's very, very early to see a Water Monkey King coming out of Les. There could have been a lot of other units and not that, because I feel like you can kind of prepare yourself for a Water Monkey King. So I'd say a little early, and I think Les needs to make a big decision here, and it looks like he's going to be going after Saga and the Barbara going into this Veronica Dominic.
I like the Barbara to try to get that Shiho value earlier than you might anticipate it and boost up the team. But if I was Lest, I'd be very afraid of that Veronica, so much so that I almost might want to ban it.
We saw a Watery Moore coming out here. Takes it back. Diana Leo getting locked in by FH.
Oh, Stoic. That was FH really trying to make Les sweat a little bit here with those 2 last picks. I mean, all of a sudden, what do you ban? I mean, you want to ban everything for different reasons.
Yep, this is a really, really good draft by FH right now. Big fan. I do like him wrapping up the Diana and Leo. Of course, Vertiheal's going to come to the field here. Honestly, Vertiheal can just immediately be a ban, and that might not be something that FH even has to worry about. And I'd say FH has this round 1 already, is limiting the damage coming out of Les here.
That's right. And if there's one thing that FH is maybe short on, it is those units that open up on turn 1. So banning out the Veronica here, I think, is really strong because not only is it the safe play for your team as Lest, but it also makes it so that FH is gonna have to struggle a little bit to get through your will.
Oh, well, let's see what happens. We got an attack lead coming out for Lest, and I believe it was an HP lead coming out for FH. Let's see what happens here with Leo kicking us off here, potentially going after a quick dismount onto the Barbara.
Yep, and like we were talking about, look at all that will. So that means he is going to be able to get a turn here. So this is the question: can she boost more than Diana gives? We'll see.
We'll see what happens here. Goes right after that. Nana does get the strip. And of course, it's going to be boosting up that Diana. Diana is going to be going for a stun on top of the Barbara, and not receiving it there.
Oh, that's great. You really want to land that attack break on the Dominic.
Yeah, great attack break, great glancing being applied to every unit onto the field here. We've got attack bar pushback with the second skill. Goes right after that Diana. And of course, we've got Shihao. Skill 2 is available to stun everybody up.
Yeah, he could go for the stun. I think that's the play. Good call. Unfortunately, comes up empty. But, you know, that's sort of the thing that you expect with Shiho. You kind of got to temper your expectations when you're against a full win team sans Nana.
Exactly. Look at the experience in Les, taking his time here. Definitely not trying to rush anything. Looked for the reset on top of the Dominic. Didn't receive it, though. Did get the provokes on everybody, though.
Yeah, really, really solid. The provokes to clean up where Shiho kind of dropped the ball was pretty huge. And you could see Dominic thinking about FH thinking about where he wants to put that branding effect, and landed it on the Varisa instead of the Shiho. I guess he's pretty confident that he can take out the Shiho just through sheer elemental advantage. Ooh,
yeah, definitely. That Diana might be able to rip through that Xiao, and that's something that Les does not want to see here. It looks like FH wants to remove the weakest unit from the field, and it is the Varisa.
Yeah, it may not come into play, but it was a slightly unfortunate proc from the Shiho there that ended up putting him at the 1-turn invincibility instead of 2-turn.
Yeah, getting no stuns at all was definitely a big upset for Les there. He wasn't able to capitalize off of any of those stuns from Shihao. So we'll see where things go from here. But Varese is looking at getting dropped out from the game. If there's a proc coming out of this, it'd be in a lot of trouble.
Can the Shihao get the stuns now is the question. He's got another chance to cycle that attack bar back. Oh, and he gets it into the additional turn. This is the chance.
That was beautiful.
That was exactly what you want to do. So here goes the first Soul Stone, and now Nana's back up. Uh-oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
It looks like we're going to see a Barisa get removed from the field. He has to take that unit to get an orb up here to keep his team alive, and there's that orb. And we've got Diana going to be transforming back because we've got Leo trying to go for the attack or pushback, even the kill on top of this Saga here.
Things just got slightly more complicated. They just got even more complicated.
Man!
Oh, if you're less,
It's crazy.
You're starting to sweat. I mean, that we saw
you're
it
sweating indeed.
We saw it, man. That Diana was a lot of pressure in the pick ban phase. I thought it was a really nice way to close it out.
It definitely was. That's going to be the finish.
She's got
right
one
there.
more.
There's two
She's got one more in her. She had one more in her.
Welcome to RTA FH with round 1 victory over 2019's SWC champion. Definitely. I did not like the Water Monkey King as early as we did see it. I'll stand by the Varese. I think the Varese still is a great pick there. But Water Monkey King being a little early in the draft, but then also missing those stuns at that big opportunity, getting absolutely nothing. Les lost a ton of value in that situation right there. We've got pre-bans locked in here. Veronica, Varisa getting pre-banned.
Totally. Yeah, as cool as the second and third proc from Diana were to see from like a viewership perspective, I would say that after the first proc was probably just enough to kind of seal the game. And you got to anticipate that with Diana. They're always built on Violent, and you've drafted a Shihao. Like, how much mileage are you realistically going to get out of the Shihao when it's picked that early and they have enough chance to go all wind?
I'm expecting a much more aggressive draft coming out of Leicester. He's got Oliver as his first pick here. The response from FH being the Shizuka and the Gianna has a lot of value. Les taking his time here thinking about what he wants to bring against these two units, and it is going to be a Barbara and a Cigar again. I would definitely expect to see a potential Leo coming out of FH once again since he's already drafting it against these speed-based damage dealers.
Yeah, that's a good call. And there it is, right on cue. Right on cue. Here he is. Never one to miss the opportunity to hinder speed scaling units. You know, I like the Antares there, but maybe he needs something with a little bit more guaranteed presence instead of assumed presence. He's really debating that. There you go. I like that a little better, I think.
Yeah, I think the Verti-Heal is a better decision because it looks like he wants to let the Cigar through. Even if the Verti-Heal gets provoked there, he's still going to gain his value right there. He's definitely not worried about the damage coming out of the Barbara because he has the Leo, and I think Les might already be thinking about banning out the Leo and then drafting accordingly. We're going to see a Nana and, of course, Dominic coming out for Les, so definitely a really aggressive draft coming out of Les, bringing that Dominic to the field, the ability to gain orbs, taking that back and going with the Tessarian this time.
I mean, those are two really good passives to lock down with the Tessa, so I see why. And we just had a member of chat, Bane, point out that we did see a Hall of Heroes Nat 4 pre-banned in SWC right now. Just throwing that out there. Right. That's pretty crazy. That's a pretty crazy.
Varese is a very good unit.
Super good. And now I think everybody out there who's looking for an AoE stripper is probably going to try to build one after seeing these games.
I do like this Wusa last pick here. This might be signaling... Oh, never mind. The ban is going to be the Oliver. Ban does get locked down onto the Wusa. The Wusa was a very good pick there. Definitely put Les in a tough place there because now he's forced to let that Leo Verti-Heal combination in here. Defense lead coming out for Les. HP lead coming out for FH. We've got a big one here. Les needs to clap back to keep himself inside this tournament, or FH looking for a big upset for the previous champion.
Yeah, things are looking swell for FH. He has the chance to really make a name for himself here. And meanwhile, Les needs to get a point on the board before FH gets too far ahead, man. Here comes Barbara, ready to boost up the whole team, and notably no Diana to cut in this time.
Yeah, FH definitely wants to give a lot of attention to that Cigar. The Cigar is going to be used to control the Shizuka from doing Shizuka things. We're going to get an additional turn coming at a Cigar, looking to apply a defense break to a unit. Let's see what Les wants to remove first.
Yeah, here we go. This is pretty great. Everything's going according to plan, more or less. There's One more counter from Bird than we expected to see, probably. Gets the passive. Locked out with Tessa. Awesome.
Yeah, nice additional turn there. I was actually kind of expecting him to capitalize on a Oblivion going out onto the Leo so he can get his damage back with his Barbara, but removing the Verdi heal from the field is definitely going to gain him some value, and Orbs especially on top of that Nana.
Oh yeah, pretty tanky Cigar actually. He's managing to absorb that damage from Gianna pretty well. We're going to have to see how that Tessa stands up to the bomb. Here comes Barb to lock in a little more damage against the Gianna. Can it confirm the kill? Verd is no longer an issue. Tessa confirms the kill. It doesn't value Leo's passive enough to even give him the time of day.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, 3 orbs right there is going to say a whole lot. I'm not too sure what FH has left in the tank to do away with last year, but I guess what he's thinking is what happens if he can land some bombs. You know what? The bombs are not going to do enough because we just saw how much damage came out on top of that Cesarian. So I don't see FH coming back to this one.
If he puts the Oblivion out there and manages to secure some kills, so that way he can. Oh, it's already gone. It's already off Nana. Never mind.
Yep, definitely not going to be enough here, but we'll see what happens. I mean, this is Summoner's War after all. A lot of things could happen.
A lot of things totally could. I mean, look at Leo. Leo's nearly at full health. Shizuka's got skill too. Here comes Gianna with all of her skills available. She can throw a bomb out. I mean, this is FH is not completely out. And again, this is SWC. So you got to play it out to make sure that all of your options are gone before you scoop.
Yeah, for sure. Shizuka's definitely the unit of focus right now. We got to remove that unit from the field. Protect itself with Soul Protection. Has immunity up as well. No additional turn coming out of that Leo. More poke damage coming back. And decides to throw the defense break on top of the Leo instead.
All of a sudden, there are no more Soul Stones on Nana's side.
Yeah, all of a sudden, they're all gone. Defense break does land. He might be able to take care of the Shizuka here.
Or, yeah, he could totally take out the Shizuka, but I think he's going to go for this. Yes, he's trying to knock out the Leo, but it's not quite enough. But it doesn't matter because everybody's within range.
Torrent is available here. He would be able to kill with his first skill no matter what. He's going to be throwing Torrent down 63k. Gets the additional turn as well.
Leo is trying his best to win this game for FH right now. Anything can happen from here.
Barbara looking for the finish here. Wasn't enough, but Tsarn's going to be there to drop him. We've got orbs getting popped here. And then the poke damage going back on Shizuka. Shizuka does have skills available. Puts it back on him. There is a strip, but there pops up. The strip is only available on top of the Barbara. I don't know if he has that skill right now, but there is potentially the kill and Lest with the victory here.
Putting up to 1-1 against FH, which is great. Now we get to see more of this awesome matchup too. And no one's at match point yet. This is best of 5.
He is trying to gain more victories as we go into round 3 here.
And what's worth even more is I think it really put the fear in Lest. You know, I think there was even a little bit of a psychological gameplay element there. Leo and Shizuka hanging on, not scooping in the face of the 3 Soul Stones. I mean, just before that game, we were talking about how important those Soul Stones are, and how usually if you're at 3, that's kind of your signal to exit, right? But he managed to get less down to the point where everybody was in kill range.
Yep, that's right. I mean, 3 orbs usually signals the bottom left, but he held on, and he proved that 3 orbs technically still results in a loss, but he made it. He gave a good show.
Yeah, he definitely did. Yeah, and also the 63k ignored defense was super fun to watch too. Oh, Veronica's back. Stoic. This is great.
Yep, we're definitely going to see some Veronica action here. Veronica Gianna coming out for FH. The Varisa Masha is going to be teamed up with 2 other units drafted by Lester. Let's see what he chooses to respond. And it looks like Tomoe is coming back.
That would be great. I would love it if the Tomoe made it through. We have yet to see Veronica make it into a game in this matchup, so we don't know how the speeds compare exactly just yet. And I'd really like to have the opportunity to examine that. And, you know, selfishly speaking, I'd like to see Veronica in more games.
Yeah, of course. Me as well. Beautiful animations out of those Battle Angels for sure. It looks like FH wants to lock down a 33 speed lead, an additional speed lead. FH showcasing a lot of LD units that we were not prepared to see here. Well, you know, Volantis is coming into focus.
Yeah, really bringing the full breadth of his box into this match to try to get that match point in there. Nice Hagen. That's great. That counters several units that FH has brought.
Yeah, I really do like that Haging, but Haging just might be the ban because he had to lock in 2 strips there. So only Varese is going to be the strip to gain value from the Charlotte. Veronica's going to get the ban. We're looking at FH taking turn 1 with that 33 speed lead.
Yeah, let's see how close it is, Stoic. So,
wow!
Oh my word, the Charlotte
is so fast!
With the boost into the Varese, Stoic. Oh, the plays!
Wow.
Oh my
we were able to
God,
get the strip glancing, coming to the field, looking for the attack bar pushback on top of the Volantis. Here, we've got defense break available with the Masha. Masha looking to snipe something out of here.
I just choked on the plays, Stoic. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Gianna not getting killed just yet, but Tomoe's got something to say about it.
Puts all the debuffs on everybody. Lest is just going through a stroll in the park right now, it seems. Everything's kind of going the way that they wanted it to. And got the karma on Oliver, too, if he procs.
There's the kill on top of the Gianna. Goes to the skill, too. Gets AoE stuns, or just a stun on top of the Volantis. But that's all that Les is going to need there. A little bit of poke damage coming back onto the Vanessa. Vanessa's going to be the unit to get dropped out here. Wonderful plays by Les. Well done. What a showcase of excellent speed, excellent rune quality. Last with the round 3 victory.
Have that safety net of a 33.
Hovering over that Shizuka and the Gianna, chooses to finally lock it in.
And the Shizuka we saw was actually pretty great against the Nana earlier. She did a really solid Nana impression, the way she was keeping herself and her team alive, keeping hope alive when it was just her and Leo left. We've seen this exact draft from Les before, and I've liked the performance so far, Stoic.
Yeah, I agree, but I have a feeling that Leo's once again going to be coming out, these speed-based damage dealers, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Once again, though, it is Leo and Verd. Les played well against us. He started this, and look how quick he was to draft it. He knew exactly what he wanted here, and that's Desarian, and that's Nana. He is hovering over, and he wants to think about what is that 5th pick coming out of FH. What is he going to bring if he locks those 2 units in? Because we have a very familiar draft FH has seen before.
Right, we've seen this exact game tonight, actually. And I think last time it was the Wusa that was banned out, and I think it was was it Oliver that was banned, I think it was Oliver that got banned.
I believe it was the Oliver that did get banned out here. Tsarina's going to get the ban. The Wusa has to get the ban here because it's just not consistent strips for Les. So we'll see what happens. Tsarin banned out here. That was a big player for Les last time. We'll see if Les still has enough of the tank to take a 3rd victory here up against FH.
Yeah, it's a good thing to point out because last time Les didn't face the full brunt of the passives because he was able to lock down Verd fairly early after just a couple procs from the passive. Here comes Barbara to set up the rest of the team, gets a nice stripped and attack bar boost, and we're doing this is actually playing out exactly the same way that the last game did, except we didn't get a counter from Verd there. So he's getting full value out of these provokes right now as long as he doesn't skill 2 from Nana.
That's big value. Look for the reset back onto the Shizuka. Now that it's going to be landing, defense break landing on top of that Gianna. That's going to be the unit he's going to try and get rid of first because that defense break sitting on him. He wants to earn these orbs. There's the revenge coming out of the Vertiheal though.
He was really thinking about that, Stoic. He was really debating whether it was worth it for that counter against the Verd. In that same spot in the last draft we saw, Verd countered there, and he didn't know if he wanted to risk it, and we'll have to see if that extra attack bar ends up hurting him in the long run, because he ends up getting less value out of the provokes. Nice proc from Gianna.
Yeah, violent Gianna landing a bomb on top of the Oliver. He wants to stop that unit from gaining any turns here. There is still one orb up on top of this Nana, though. He's got to get the reset and push back the Gianna or the Shizuka here. What?
Oliver manages to stay alive by just 1 HP, Stoic. He's increasing the cooldown time on Shizuka. Les continues to try to dominate those cooldown times.
That's crazy. I think he actually has to go for a fast link on top of the Gianna. Does go for it. Cigar might have enough of the tank to remove the Gianna from the field. That is 2 orbs up here with the additional turn popping up. Provoke landing back on the Shizuka with a despair stun on top of it. Leo's here to take an orb away, but it still leaves 1 more orb in the tank. Vertiheal might have enough as well.
So close, but so far. Those 2 orbs were so clutch because Oliver almost said goodbye. He almost passed away. There's a proc. Man. Very well-timed proc.
Very well-timed proc indeed. Could have secured the kill on top of the Shizuka. Kind of curious. Maybe he's just comfortable knowing that he has that orb to bring his Oliver back there, that he didn't feel a need to secure it. He's got Cigar in front of this Shizuka here. Can go do whatever he wants. He can first skill, second skill, third skill. Everything's fine because he removes Shizuka. Gets his orb back here. FH is going to keep pummeling that damage into the olive, remove that unit from the field to take away another orb on top of Nana.
I don't even know if that's 5%. There was a really small decision. That was ended up being a brilliant play by Lest, actually choosing to secure the kill, not with Nana, but with Cigar there to forego the provoke, but instead put an attack break on Leo. That ended up saving his Oliver and his Soulstone a little early. That was actually a really smart tech.
Well, we're going to see some big, fast link damage going out onto the Vertiheal. Vertiheal is still alive right here, looking for a little reset attack bar pushback on top of this Leo. Leo's going to get knocked down the second skill. That is going to be it. Lest is going to the final.
Lest with the 3-1, the previous SWC champion of 2019. He's coming back. He really wants to go to the finals this year. And look at him now. He's going to be seen in the final set tonight. Later, we're going to have to see who he's going to fight between Tars and How to Play.